All you have to do is take action. All you have to do is start. There's not going to be a perfect time to start, but one thing that's guaranteed is that you will pass away. You are going to leave this earth, this planet, this realm, whatever you like to call it. And people are going to be saying RIP to you one day. So let me ask you a question. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to feel about yourself? Every day you're telling yourself you're going to start tomorrow. You're telling yourself that you're not good enough. You're saying that that person's lucky. These are three of many excuses that you make on a day-to-day basis. I know, trust me. You're making excuse after excuse on why you don't want to take action, right? But the truth is, one day you're going to come to terms to yourself. One day you're going to meet your maker. One day you're going to come to the realization about how you live this life. So my urgent message to you today, my wake-up call for you today is to take action. You're probably asking yourself why there's 75 right here. If you look up the average lifespan of a person, some outlets will give you 75, but I'm just going to put 75 here just to prove my point. There's 75 summers, 75 falls, 75 winters, 75 spring times when you're age 75, right? But when you think about it that way, that's not a lot of time. Really think about it. That's really not that much time. And as you see over here, I put the amount of days that you have left depending on how old you are. In my case, I like to say you only get younger as the years progress, but let me make it make sense to you. 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. Yes, you see 20 years old, you have what? Low to mid, 20,000 plus or so days, right? 17,000, and it drops to 14,000 around 40 years of age. As you can see, my point is it's just not that much time. And remember, within these days that I listed, a third of these are going to be sleeping. A third of these you're going to be working. It's safe to say a third that you're going to be sleeping and working. And then, 22 working weeks, you're on social media. The point is there isn't much time left. You're using all of these apps every day. You're doom scrolling. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have a daily schedule. You don't have anything going for yourself. And you wonder why you're in the same place year after year. You wonder why there's barely any progression in your life. You're not taking your health into consideration. You're not taking your wealth in consideration. You're not taking your relationships into consideration. You're not even traveling. You're in the same hometown for your whole life. You have no purpose. You don't know what you want to do with yourself. And so for this reason, you're walking around and you just don't have direction. And a lot of this is because of fear and ignorance and a lot of other things. But I really want to double down on fear because that's honestly what you're scared of. You're scared of fear. You're scared of your own potential. You're scared of getting started. You're thinking so much about how things can go wrong. But the question is, why do you think that way? Why do you always think about how something can go wrong? Have you ever thought about your environment or the consumption through media? Things like this is the reason why you have the perspective that you do. Because the truth is, it's all perspective. And once you realize that time is valuable and you put that in perspective, then you're going to take a lot more action, because the truth is you're eating up time every single day through things that aren't in alignment with who you are. That's why you don't feel good about yourself. That's why you feel down in the dumps. That's the reason why you're not healthy. That's the reason why you're not wealthy. Your relationships aren't good. You're in the same place and you have no purpose because you're not aligning your time where it needs to be. Your perspective just isn't right. And the reason why your perspective isn't right isn't because I'm calling you out. It's because you're just not in alignment with who you are. Because your perspective is always going to be right when you're in alignment with who you are. That's a fact. And so you need to take action. I don't know how old you are. You could be young. You can be 50 years young, 100 years young right now watching this video. But the truth is, all you have to do is face your fears, because what you want is on the other side of fear. And once you really internalize this, then you're really going to understand why you need to take action and why you just need to get started. It's not going to be perfect. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's not going to be perfect, but you are going to learn and grow over time. And then you're going to get closer to that desired situation, because your current situation is not good enough. And all you want to do is get to that desired situation, and you have to face your fear. There's no other way around this. Of course, you're not going to know how things are going to turn out. Of course, because you haven't gotten to where you want to be yet. Of course. You have the desire for a reason though. So that's the reason why you have to get started. This is a wake up call. I know you might need that motivation. I know things might be hard for you right now. I know things might be tight. I know you might not see where the road is headed for you, but I'm here to give you a little bit more direction, because you could be 20, 30, 40 years old and just look at the days. I want you to look at this one more. This isn't a lot. A lot of this is going to be spent against sleeping and working and doom scrolling and doing things that are way out of alignment with who you want to be. And so I'm here to really put this in perspective to you today. 75 summers, falls, winters, and springs is just not a lot of time, And think about it. Imagine if you're 25 and you see this number. There isn't much time left. You have 50 of each left if you're 25. So it's time. I'm here to tell you that it's time, and this is just a wake-up call. I wanted to make this short, but it's time. It's time to take action, and I'll be taking action right alongside you. And I'll see you on the other side. Until next time.